It's my turn to talk with Jasmine Kiera. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just practicing, speaking into existence. I know, okay? I know, but let me explain, okay? So, y'all know when I started this podcast, if you've been following me, if you're on my socials, if you're not, go follow me. I am at bloomwithjazz7 across all platforms. That's Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So if you have been following, if you have been supporting, you know that your girl has been going hard for this podcast. Your girl has been promoting this podcast. Your girl was on fire for this podcast, okay? And after I posted the first episode, I felt amazing. I felt so in alignment. I felt so liberated. I just felt so good after it. And it was because I started this podcast under some very big emotional stress. And I was just fed up and I wanted to talk. So I made a podcast. And after I made the first episode and I had some time to kind of sit with it, I'm like, I actually don't want to keep talking about these people. I actually don't want to give them any more energy. So I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to reevaluate the situation and I'm going to see what direction I want to take this. Now, that's not to say I won't ever bring up things again, because I am, because we definitely still going to talk about it. But honey, I had 5 whole episodes, 5, like one after the other, one for pretty much every person that has done something. Like, we're not doing that. We are not giving those people that much energy, okay? We're going to talk about how it affected me, what it did to me, but we're not naming them people. We're not talking about them people. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, okay? So I'm going to kind of turn this thing around before we even get started good, because it was just going in a direction that I didn't want it to go after just one episode. But I thank God that he has given me this mind to truly listen to him and truly trust him. Because when I tell you, if I get any type of pushback, any resistance, I'm stopping. I had the second episode recorded, edited, ready to post. When I started to, try to post it, things just weren't going right. And I was like, you know what? That means that I don't need to put this out. That means I need to take a step back. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm so glad that I did that. Because although there are things that I want to say, there are things that I do want to talk about, I can talk about it in a way that gives God the glory. I can talk about it in a way that does not give these people and the things that they do so much energy. So we're going to shift this thing around. We're going to turn this boat the other way. And we're going to get back into my real purpose here. And that's helping people heal. That's bringing things to the forefront. That's talking about things that people don't want to say. That's being real. That's what we're doing over here. So now that I have gotten all of that out of the way, hey, y'all, hey, did y'all miss me? I know y'all miss me because y'all been looking for me. But listen, God always has a plan. And one thing about me in this season of my life, it is nothing but pure obedience. So I know sometimes it looks crazy. I know sometimes it gets messy. But God is doing what God does. And sometimes when you're dealing with crazy and messy people, that's just how it be. But anyway, we're going to reel it back in and we are going to start this off pretty heavy. So if you see the title of this podcast, I know it's probably like, what? What is she talking about? But yes, I am glad my daughter died. And the inspiration from this podcast, from this title, is from a book by Jeanette McCurdy from iCarly, Sam. She wrote a book and she titled it, I'm Glad My Mom Died. So when I got back into my hobby of reading, that was the first book I read. Because at that time, I was contemplating, cutting off certain relationships. And that was a book that I came across. And when I saw the title, I was like, you're glad your mom died? Like, girl, what did she do to you? Like, what was so bad? And I was really intrigued. So I read the book, and throughout the book, you would think, hearing something like that her mom beat her, she neglected her, you would think things like that, but it was the total opposite. Her mom was a single mom. Not a single mom, I'm sorry, a stay-at-home mom. She took care of her. She was an actress, so she was, booking all her gigs and taking her to all the things. Like, she was there. She was going hard for her. But there was emotional neglect. She didn't care about how she felt. She cared about her getting to the bag, okay? So when I read that book, I could feel it in so many ways. And now that I am grieving the loss of my child, I was just able to put it into perspective. Like, I get what you're saying. So I just want to preface this by saying, if you have lost someone, I'm so sorry. And I want you to know that there's nothing that you could have done differently. There's nothing the doctors could have done differently. There's no amount of visits that would have saved them. There's no amount of phone calls, conversations that would have made anything any different. God had a plan, and his will always be done. And I know that it's hard to accept. It's hard to sit in that. It's hard to believe that is true, but it is. And I've also been getting into, listening to different podcasts, just changing the things that I digest, things that I expose myself to. And if you have not listened to Mel Robbins, please go listen to her podcast. She is an amazing person. And she has such an amazing perspective. I was recently listening to a podcast of hers about grief. And she had another person on there, and they were talking. And the main takeaway that I got from that is to shift your what if. So, well, what if I went to go see them more? Or what if I called them? Or what if I took them to that appointment? Or what if. Shift that perspective from what if to even if. Even if you did all the things, that person was still going to die. Even if you completely changed your whole life for them to make them comfortable, to help them live a little bit longer, that person was still going to die. And that's hard to sit with. It is. But when you really think about it, it heals you in a way. Because oftentimes when we grieve, we're looking for an answer. We need it as humans, our human mind, we need it to make sense. But we are dealing with a supernatural God, so it's not going to make sense. So we are truly wasting our time trying to make sense of something that our human mind cannot even comprehend. That's why it's very important to get tapped into the Spirit. You got to get tapped in with the Holy Spirit. That's the only way. That's truly the only way. Because once you get tapped in with the Holy Spirit, we're in a different realm. So we're able to realize what God is doing. We'll never be able to think from him. We'll never be able to understand what he does. But it does give you a sense of, okay, I can get that. It may not be full acceptance. We may not fully surrender to God does what he does, and we just have to leave it at that. But to even just get a little bit and to just shift it a little bit to, okay, I can see that. I can see changing my what if to even if. Even if you took them to all the appointments, even if you went to visit them, even if you let them live with you, even if it was still going to happen. A lot of times I feel like we forget that everyone is God's child. Everyone is up against something. And sometimes we're in the crossfire of it. It doesn't mean that there's anything that we can do differently. There's nothing that we can change about it. The only thing we can do is accept it. If we don't want to accept that, then that's when we live the life full of pain, full of hurt, full of sadness. And God didn't want that for you. Yeah, you lost that person, but God didn't mean for you to just stay down for the rest of your life and grieve and be sad. So that's what inspired me to make this episode, because who in the world would get up here and say that they are glad that their 6-month-old baby died? Who in their right mind, right? But let me break it down for you in a little bit of perspective. I found out I was pregnant at 24 weeks. When I found out I was pregnant, shortly after that, the ultrasound tech saw something on the ultrasound. Later to find out there was a hole in her heart. When she was born, she had to go to the NICU immediately. She had open heart surgery at 8 days old. And she spent 2 months in the hospital, hooked up to machines, going through tests, different procedures, trial and error. It just was something that I don't wish on anyone. It's truly a sight. It's truly a sight. And I would not want that for any child. Like, I get it. We want to do all the things. We want to try. We want to help them. But it broke my heart every single day to come to the hospital, to see her like that, to hear what else the nurses have to tell me, to hear what they're going to try to do next. It was truly a journey. Truly a journey. And I mean, I can think back now and remember how just out of it I was. I know that those nurses were just feeling so bad for me, because I would be looking dead at them. They would think I was hearing what they were saying, but I wasn't hearing a word. I couldn't even function. I couldn't even focus. I couldn't do anything. I was just there. I was just trying. It was truly a journey, y'all. Like, it was a lot. And if you've never experienced it, count your blessings and name that one. Because that is, it was a lot. But, we come home after 2 months and we're still on oxygen. We still have medications that have to be taken daily. We have routines and regimens that we have to follow very strictly, very closely. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I would do it 10 times over for any of my children. 10 times over. I don't care what it is. I would do it because I love my kids. And I know that a part of my purpose on this earth was to be a mother. So, well, Jasmine, why are you saying that you're glad your daughter died? There's some truths that you really don't want to accept. There's some things that you would just never say out loud. But that's not me. I'm not that type of person. I am a realist, okay? I can be nothing but real. And if I'm being honest, I am glad that she is not here. I'm glad that she's not here. I'm glad that she's not in this mess. I'm glad that she's not suffering. I'm glad that she's not hurting or in any pain that she can't even tell me about. I'm glad that she doesn't have to go through any more surgeries. Because it wasn't over. She was going to have surgeries for the rest of her life. She was going to be on medication for the rest of her life. I'm so glad that she's not here. Who would want to suffer like that? Now, if I had the option, the choice, I would love for her to be here. I would take care of her. I would take her to every appointment. I would try to figure out everything. I would probably become a doctor myself, because that's just the type of parent that I am. I want to know. I'm going to research. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find the information. But God had other plans. He had other plans for me. He brought that little baby here for a reason. And sometimes we really don't realize how truly intentional God is. And sometimes it's not always about us. Sometimes it's about other people. Sometimes he puts situations in our lives. Yes, they are hurtful to us, but he's trying to teach somebody else something. He's trying to show somebody else something. And we just get caught in the crossfire. Sometimes that's just how it is. Just like for other people, when he's moving and working on us, sometimes other people get caught in the crossfire, like our kids. God is transforming our whole life, but our kids are still feeling it. God is moving and doing this. Your spouse is feeling it. Your family is feeling it. But it's not about them. And this was not about me. This was not about me. This was not my test. This was not about me. And God told me that. And that is why I have so much peace around this situation. I miss my daughter terribly. But I do not miss her enough to want her back here in this mess. I do not miss her enough to want her to grow up without what she needs. And not just physical, not just material, but emotional. Her emotional needs were not going to be met. They just weren't. In the way that she needed it, they just weren't. When you have a child like that, they need presence. They need a village. And we just don't have that. And that's okay. That's okay. It can be done without that because God is greater than it all. And I know that. But I have so much peace in knowing that while she was here, I did everything I could. I did everything I was supposed to do. I was there. I was present. I cared. I showed up. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I didn't cut any corners. I didn't do any of that. I did everything I was supposed to do. And you know what God told me when she left here? Job well done. That's what he said to me. Job well done. No, I'm not going to put all this grief on you. No, I'm not going to lay it on you. I lost a baby, a little baby, y'all, 6 months old. Imagine. There are so many people I see all the time, and everybody's grief journey is different. I get it. But losing a baby that you held, that you took care of, a baby. And this is not to dismiss anybody's loss because they are all painful. They are all hurtful. I've had miscarriages. I get it. I know what it feels like. Miscarriages, plural. I get it. I know. It hurts and it's painful. But God did not leave that on me because I released it. When we were in that hospital and they came to me and the doctor came out and said, I'm sorry. We did you know how it goes. I fell down to my knees and I am positive the entire hospital heard me scream. And in that moment, God met me right there. And he told me, you have a choice right now. You have to make the choice right now. Not after you go home and cry for a little bit. Not after you take some time for yourself. You have a choice right now. Do you want to die with her? Or do you want to live for the kids that you still have here? Right now, decide. Right now. I said, God, I gotta live for them. I can't die with her. I can't fall apart. I can't be crying all the time where there's never any joy, any peace in the house, where I'm never present for my kids. I can't do that to them. They still need me. He said, okay, if you are choosing to live, I got you. I will take care of you. I will heal your heart. I will cover you in a way that this will not break you if you trust me, if you listen to me, if you make this choice right now. I promise you, I got you. And that's what he told me. And that's what I did. And I was able to pick it up. No, every day was not perfect. Yes, I stayed in the bed sometimes for hours. Yes, I cried myself to sleep many nights. Yes, I would find her sock or on the floor, a piece of something of hers, and I would lose it. And God was right there with me every single time. Because it's going to be that way. When it's someone that you love, someone that you truly care about, it's going to be that way. It's going to be hard. It's still hard to this day. I'm just now getting to a point where I can look at her pictures and videos. I'm still crying, but at least I can look at them. At least I can take a second to really remember her. To just think about how every time I would walk up to her or come to her bed and pick her up, she was smiling so big. And I mean, when she left here, looking at her, you wouldn't even be able to tell. And that's how good God is. That baby was rolling around. She was saying, "Mama." That's how good God is. He gave me all of that before she left here. And I'm forever thankful for that. And I have so much peace in my heart. But two things can be true at the same time. You can miss the person that left this earth. You can miss them. You can wonder what it would be like if they were still here. You can hold on to the memories. But you can also still be glad that they're not here anymore. And that does not make you a bad person. That does not make your grief any less. It is okay to be glad that they're not here. To be glad that you don't have to do certain things because you're tired. It's okay. It is okay. And I don't care what anyone says. It is okay. You don't have to carry that. You don't have to be sad if you're not sad that somebody died. It's okay. Release that. Release what people are going to think. Release how they may feel about it. Release it. If you know what you did, I'll speak for myself. I know that I was up every 3 hours making her formula that had to be mixed a certain way. Preparing her medicine, everything. I know that I did that. And I know that I was tired. I know that I was tired of going to the doctor every week. I was tired of getting phone calls every other day. I was tired of having to remember this and that. I was tired. But it didn't mean I didn't love her any less. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't do it now. It does not mean any of that. It just means that I'm a human. I am a real person. And it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to be glad that someone is not here anymore. It's okay to be glad that God has called them home. It is okay. Stop letting people make you feel bad for feeling that way. Because I guarantee you, the ones that will make you feel bad about it are the ones who did nothing for them. The ones who never showed up. The ones who didn't answer the phone. The ones who weren't taking care of them. The ones who weren't doing anything. Of course, they're just sad. But you're tired and sad. It's okay to feel relief. My kids had the same pediatrician. I have Dr. Grant. I love her to pieces. And I thank God for her because Nyla actually had a doctor's appointment 2 days before she died. 2 days before she passed away, she was at the doctor. Everything was fine. Perfectly fine. We were having a conversation about her surgery that was coming up the following week. She died the day before her surgery. She died on a Sunday morning. Monday, we were heading to Charlotte for her pre-op. God said, no, I'm not going to put you through that. I'm not going to put this baby through that. No. When my pediatrician called me, she called me to give her condolences. And my middle child, she had an appointment shortly after that. When I saw her again, she said, it's okay to feel some relief. It's okay. You don't have to hold that. You did a lot and you did a great job. You're a great mom and there was nothing else that you could have done. And it's okay to feel some relief. And I know that God placed that on her heart to tell me because after she told me that, everything shifted. It literally changed the entire trajectory of how I grieved my child. Because once I sat with that and I was like, you know what? You're right. I am kind of relieved. And not in a selfish way, because I would do anything for my kids. But in a way of just being tired of not having the support that I need, being tired of having to do everything, being tired. Not because I'm by myself, but because it was my job. It was my job to do, and other people had other jobs to do. And when that didn't happen, God said, okay, I'm not going to leave this all on you. I place certain people around you. I place certain resources, certain things around you, and everybody falls short to the glory of God. We all do every single day. It doesn't mean he's punishing me by taking my child away, because it never felt like a punishment. It felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders. It felt like I didn't have to get any more phone calls. The phone calls and the emails were the hardest part of it all. I'm always getting a phone call. Somebody is always asking me something. Somebody always needs something. I was exhausted. On top of having to already do the things, on top of having an autistic 7-year-old, on top of having a very hyperactive 2-year-old, I was exhausted. I never got a minute for myself. Never. There was no time for it. I wasn't even looking for time for myself. I knew I wasn't going to get it. And I had just came to terms with that. But God said, no, my child, no. You are too talented. I placed too many gifts inside of you for them to just go by the wayside. You have too much to say to just be sitting at home taking care of your kids. No. So I just want to say that if you have lost someone and you are glad that they're not here anymore, not glad that they died, not glad that if you're glad that they're not here anymore, whatever that looks like for you, you don't have to explain that to anyone. And if they don't understand, it's just give it to God, because people are just made to misunderstand you. And that's okay. Once you let go of trying to explain yourself, of trying to get everybody to know where you're coming from, There is so much power in it. When you truly get to the point of you do not care and you are able to live into your truth, that's all that you can do. That is all that you can do. And everyone else will just have to feel how they want to feel. I know some people are going to look at this title and be like, what? She's glad her daughter died. She just posted a picture up here talking about it and how she wished she could hug her again. People are committed to misunderstanding you, and that's okay. I don't need anybody to understand where I'm coming from. This is solely to help heal somebody else. To help let somebody else know that it is okay. It's okay if you're glad that abusive parent is dead. It's okay if you're glad that the person that you were a caregiver to is not here anymore because you're tired. It doesn't mean you don't love them. And it doesn't mean that you wouldn't have kept doing whatever you were doing while they were here, because you would have. It's okay. Two things can be true at the same time. So free yourself. Free yourself from your own mind. Free yourself from the thoughts and opinions and comments and concerns and questions of other people. Free yourself. I promise God has a plan. I was talking to someone, my sweet, sweet cousin, and she mentioned something. She said she heard a sermon or something where a person opened a paper towel roll. And in that, you can see where the roll began and where it ended. And that's how God looks at our lives. Everything is unfolded to him. He knows where we're going to start. He knows what we're going to go through. He knows what's going to come up against us. He knows where the end is going to be. He can see it all. So we have to trust and believe that he is right here with us always. He knows. From the beginning to the end, from the top to the bottom, from the ins to the outs, he knows every bit of us. Every bit. He knows the decisions that we're going to make. He knows we're going to make the wrong move. He knows that his other child that is in our life is going to do something and it's going to make us react. He knows everything. He's all seeing. He's all knowing. He knows it all, y'all. He knows. So why do we keep playing with him like he does not know? He knows you're tired. He sees you struggling. He hears you crying. He's coming. I promise you he's coming. And it is okay to be glad that someone is not here anymore. Thank you for listening. I pray that God heals your heart in ways that you don't speak about. I pray that you learn to trust him. I pray. And if I could leave anything with you, get in your word. Read your Bible. Listen to what God has to say. Pray. If you don't know where to start, pray. Open it up, flip to a page, and just read it. And just know that that's where you were meant to be, and that's what God wanted you to hear right now. You don't have to read the whole book. Pick a couple of verses. Read them. Meditate on them. Figure out what God is saying to you in that very moment in your life. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.